Black Out Loud Media Group. Welcome back to another episode of the Brown Sugar Cafe podcast, the place where poetry meets conversation. I'm your host, Terrence P. Elmore, and before we get into today's topic, make sure you hit that plus sign so you don't miss an episode. Also, please subscribe to my blog, thebrownssugarcafe.blog, and if you find any value in this episode or any other episodes, make sure you leave a heartfelt review. So with that being said, let's get to it. What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode. I hope that you all are well. I hope that you all are being able to enjoy the holiday season. Hopefully you're getting a chance to spend time with family and friends, even work friends, holiday parties, and things of that nature. If you haven't been able to visit family and friends, hopefully you get that opportunity. I know this is a time where a lot of people are dealing with, holiday sadness and holiday depression, and we don't want to take that lightly. Make sure you're reaching out to people who may be alone for the holiday season. This may be their first time alone for the holiday season. I know personally we've experienced a couple of losses in the past few weeks. So make sure you're checking on those people who may be experiencing a loss, whether it's this season or something could have happened 20 years ago. You never know how these things hit people. So make sure you're checking on them. And if you're a person that's dealing with some sort of holiday sadness or depression, don't sit alone in your thoughts. Don't sit alone in the dark with these thoughts. Try to do something. I can only suggest some things. Hopefully they can help you, whether that's contacting some friends, going to visit some friends, or having some friends and family over, going to see a movie, going out to get something to eat. Just do something that you're not just sitting alone in your thoughts. This is a very, very interesting month because there are a couple of holidays going on, but this is the time where people are supposed to be happy. If not any other time, this is supposed to be holiday cheer. But the other side of that is some people don't feel that cheer, especially throughout the rest of the year. So this time of year makes it even worse, especially if you're by yourself. Some people choose to be by themselves during the holidays, and that's fine. But even if you that type of person who chooses to be alone on the holiday, maybe reach out to somebody who this may be their first holiday alone. You never know. That phone call, that invite, even going to see them, ask them if it's okay to visit them. But you never know how that could touch somebody. That might be the very thing that person needs. Pick up the phone, call somebody, say, hey, I'm thinking about you. Send a text message, hey, I'm thinking about you. But do something to reach out and make sure that, like I said, if you're one of the people who are experiencing sadness or depression or anything during this holiday season, find something to get outside of your mind and go enjoy life. Go do something. You deserve it. You deserve to be happy. No matter what your relationship status is, your employment status, or anything that you feel may be a reason for you to be sad or depressed on top of grief, you deserve to be happy. So get out, do something. Find something that'll make you happy. Find something that'll make other people happy. Something that really helps with how you feel is when you do something for other people. Seeing that return does a lot for us. And even giving somebody an encouraging message. You never know sometimes, when we tell people things, those messages are for us. But you won't know it until you say it, until you share it, until you get it out. This past Thanksgiving, we got to have Thanksgiving dinner with my family. Because of the pandemic, it's been 3 years since I've seen a lot of those people. And it was a really good time. We have Thanksgiving dinner on Wednesdays, and we all come together, enjoy Thanksgiving dinner. Because of the pandemic, it's been 2 Thanksgivings that we didn't spend with each other. But in the course of time, that was actually 3 years since we've seen each other, a lot of us. So it was really good to get out and fellowship with my family and have conversations. And so a couple of years ago, one of my aunts started this tradition of us giving everybody a report, whether you want to call it like testimony time or whatever, but giving everybody an update on what's been going on since the last time we met. And we had a lot to talk about this year because it was so long. And people were talking about their entrepreneurship journeys. People were talking about their health challenges and how things, seemed difficult. A lot of people expressed how through their different challenges, they were able to see God's hand and a reminder that he's there and he never leaves us. But one of the things that made the most impact that night was one of my cousins got up and she said she was thankful for emotional deliverance. And she talked about going through the divorce and how that was difficult for her. And it was times where she didn't feel like being here. And that started a chain reaction where other people share their experiences with divorce and how difficult it is. And it was an emotional time, but it was a freeing time. Everyone who was sharing this story, you can feel the heaviness lifting off. That was the inspiration behind this episode. I was reflecting back to that night and thinking about how we inspire people in so many different ways, but we limit how we inspire people by thinking our stories aren't good enough or thinking our stories are something that we don't want to share with people. But I want to tell you that you're an inspiration by just being here. There's somebody watching, there's somebody listening, and your story is important. You inspire people. The smallest amount of things that we do inspire somebody. From consistency, being consistent with something can inspire somebody to be consistent in different areas of their life and be a game changer for them. So don't be afraid to share your story. I've said this before, you can't tell everybody everything because some people are trying to hold things against you, but you know who you can share these stories with, and you can share your story without going into some personal details. There's something about your story that you can share. And don't think you have to be this intellectual, this world-class speaker to share your story. Just share your story. Somebody needs to hear it. The lessons that we learn from our experiences are not only for us. They're for other people. And I think if we share more of the things that we've gone through, the challenges that we face with other people, it'll make their lives so much more easier. Think of how much easier our lives could have been with certain things if somebody else had those experiences and was able to kind of guide us through and coach us through and let us know that, which turns to take, which things to avoid. Some of us have had those things, and some of us, just to be honest, some of us didn't listen to those. But what about those things that you would have been willing to listen to and be appreciative about? So write that book, write that blog, start that podcast, do something to get your story out and inspire people. Let people know that they're not alone. When we're going through difficult things, it's easy to feel like we're alone and we're the only people that these things are happening to, but that's not true. And we need to let other people know that that's not true. So don't be afraid to be an inspiration. Don't be afraid to share your story. Don't be afraid to start that thing that people need. We have so many different ideas that can help people's lives be better. But we're second guessing it and thinking, hey, nobody's going to listen to me because I don't have a degree, or I didn't go to college, or I didn't even finish high school, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. I feel like you can learn from anybody. We can learn from each other. No matter what level of education you have, no matter what your career is, no matter what your belief is, there's something that you can share with somebody that can help them. There's something somebody can share with us that can help us. But we have to be more open-minded. We have to be more open-minded about ourselves and having conversations with other people. Seems like the people who irritate you the most probably need something from you the most. You ever thought about that? Now that's a hard one to swallow, but that may very well be the case. You have something for that person that can change their life, but because they're irritating, and it could be little small stuff too, but because they're irritating, you're not willing to have that conversation with them and help them and guide them. Let's do things different. Let's start 2023 now. I talked about this before and I'm going to talk about it again. We got to be the change we want to see. And it starts at home. Let's start taking small steps to make big improvements and to make big change. We got to stop playing small. We got to stop thinking we've reached the pinnacle of anything that we're doing. You never reach the pinnacle of what you're doing. So we got to level up. We got to level up. We got to do things And then in that, we can inspire people. When we do different things, when we demand better for ourselves and the results start showing, that inspires people too. And sometimes that's what it's going to have to take. Maybe you've said all you can say, you've shared all you can share, and now it's time to put some action to it. Now it's time to show people what you're talking about. So the next time you have an opportunity, matter of fact, I want you to be intentional with making the opportunity to inspire some people. Not saying that you are pushy and you're trying to force inspiration on the person, but be a living example of the things that you are trying to inspire people to do, and be consistent. That is so key. Be consistent. When you're inspiring people, when you're doing something and people are noticing, be consistent. That consistency is what people look to, because right now everybody's doing different things just to make money, just to make a come up, but it's the people who are consistent. Like if you're on social media and you have a fan base, you have an audience, don't just show up when you have a new product or something to push out. Because even though some of these things we have, we monetize with them, you don't want to come off as just that person looking for a few dollars here and there. And whenever there's a holiday, you show up again. Nobody's seen you the last couple of months when they actually needed to hear something or get some encouragement from you. And now here it is, some big sales day coming up, and now you show up. Or you created this funnel and now you need people to sign up for your email list. And now here you are back on social media again just to get people to sign up for your things. Be consistent. If you really care about people and you really want to inspire them and encourage them, it doesn't have to be every day. If you can't do every day, I understand that we're all busy, but at least show up once a week. Show up in some form or some fashion. One of the things that I've been consistent with is my blog post every Wednesday. I started this to give people some sort of encouragement. It started with just a focus on love, and then that developed into inspirational things. Because love is the center of everything, I'm still in the vein of love, but I branched out to inspiring people because I want people to be inspired. I know sometimes when it comes to the subject of love, it could be a touchy subject because some people are alone, whether they were in relationships or marriages that didn't work, and so they stray away from love and things like that. People even stray away from positivity, but hopefully something that I share, whether it be in my blog, my poetry, or this podcast, inspires people. And hopefully you're being inspired by listening to this episode or any episode. And I really appreciate the feedback that I've gotten when people reach out and they say that they enjoy certain episodes, because I'm doing this to help people. This is my contribution. Like I said, I'm on a journey to spread love in a world that seems to be full of hate. And by doing so, I want to share positive things, uplifting things with people. So take that in mind. Take that in consideration when you're having ideas and you have things you want to say and you feel like you're not good enough. You are good enough. You're more than enough. You have value. What you have to say has value. So don't let anybody tell you that and deter you from that. You can help somebody. You are an inspiration. So don't be afraid to inspire people. Don't be afraid to uplift people. Don't be afraid to share your story. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Brown Sugar Cafe podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Terrence P. Elmore, and this is the place where poetry meets conversation. Hit that follow button and turn on your notifications so you won't miss an episode. Check out my blog, thebrownsugarcafe.blog. Also connect with me on Instagram at thebrownsugarcafe. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and as always, remember, keep pushing forward.